I don't like cars. I'm very anti-car now,
I know.
too.
He was, by the way, I had an episode where I was like, one of my friends was actually jealous that my car got stolen. This is the friend I was talking about. I was like, he needs to come on the podcast soon. But explain to the listeners, like, why.
Cars are horrible, and I think they destroyed this country in a lot of ways. I like trains, and I don't like traffic. I hate commuting. I think that cars keep you less mobile, you know.
Yeah.
Here I can walk and go anywhere. That's good for my physical and mental health. Physical, I don't think is in question, but mental, I'm constantly bumping into people, I'm interacting, and that keeps us closer. The idea of community is, I think, what I love most about the city.
Yeah, I would say I agree with that.
I know my mailman. I know all my neighbors. I like about most of my neighbors too, actually, at this point.
Yeah.
I walked to my friend's house. It's just like when I was in elementary
You walked
school.
here. Yeah, you walked.
I walked here. Yeah, exactly.
What now? Going back to what you said, what do you mean that cars have you believe they destroyed our country? What do you mean by that?
I think I'm speaking in extreme terms, and I'm probably going to regret saying that, actually.
No, it's okay.
I do believe that they just actually, no, I don't think I spoke in extreme terms enough. I'm going to actually revise that. No, cars did not just destroy America. They destroyed the planet.
Okay.
Yeah, like from a global warming standpoint.
Okay, like gas.
They emit so much CO2, pardon me, that just greenhouse gases that warmed, the planet through the atmosphere and created this warming thing that has ultimately, melted the polar caps, led to more flooding, all the things that people associate with global warming and climate change. That is chiefly the car's responsibility, all of the CO2 that gets pumped into there. It was done for profit. Now, it also, however, when the highway system was built, when the highway system was built, there's this guy, Robert Moses, is the guy that people point the finger at a lot, but the Eisenhower interstate system, it predominantly ripped up communities of color here in Philadelphia, as well as in New York and pretty much every other city. Those where they built the highway. So, I mean, they used eminent domain to take over people's houses and then bulldoze them. And those people had to live somewhere. Where'd they go? They had to just go to other areas. It was terrible. But it did cut communities, just like the community we live in right now. 95 is like I live under 95.
Yeah.
There were houses
now,
there.
to play devil's advocate a little bit, I actually mostly agree with you, but I'm the type of person who I have a hard time making my mind on almost anything because I think of all the other things. I agree with most of what you said, but what about the things that we love and we're allowed to do because of vehicles? Like, for example, we're gigging musicians. Yes. Would any of this lifestyle be possible? Or even getting gear? Like, where and how would we buy gear? How would we buy groceries? How would we buy the things we like to buy? Can you imagine a world of being a touring musician if there was no vehicles?
Yes, okay. I can. I've given this a lot of thought.
Okay.
So there's a really good movie I saw that had, I think it was Queen Latifah, and I can't remember who she played in the movie now, but she was the main star of the movie. And it was about a jazz singer in the 1920s and 30s, and they used trains to get around to gigs.
So do you think if we didn't have cars, gigs would be mostly like a localized type of thing?
No.
Like it would be mostly like, hey, we all gig in this city.
No, she was from the South, and she played Paris, London. Like, she went all over the world. I think we would still fly places. I think we would still...
Right.
So I don't think it's like we should get rid of all cars.
Have less.
I don't think it should be a ubiquitous thing. Yeah. And I think it keeps people poor. Cars are so expensive.
Yeah.
No, I'm just not about cars. But really the community thing is a huge thing. Like, because I live in the city, again, I interact with all my neighbors.
Yeah.
The suburbs are so isolating. You're just out there by yourself.
Yeah.
Some people are probably saying, no, I'm not. I that's fine if you're not. But in my experience... I felt pretty isolated. I mean, I felt like I had to drive about 15, 20 minutes to get anywhere.
Yeah.
I think that they're definitely bad for the planet. That's a given fact. But then our cities just weren't really designed for them. And then half of them have been bulldozed, and I just don't like the idea of being so spread out. I don't know. I could really rant about this a lot if you want me to.
No, I'm like super interested in it.